Shabbat Shalom, Barakatha Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha HaKodash. Double honor to the elder apostles and the elders and the elder bishops of the Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well, who do teach well, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. So I've got this video from YouTube, right, put up by NY Prepper. High priority nuclear codes, Trump to get strike options. Okay. And before I play it, I'll say fair use, fair use. I'm not making any monetary gain off of this content. Okay. All right. This is strictly for edification purposes and educational purposes only. So fair use, fair use. Also, copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, this was put up 11 hours ago, by the way. Not 12 hours now. Okay. So, yeah. We've had codes been going out for a while. Alright. So here we go.
What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NY Prepper. It is Thursday, April 30th, 2026, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 14:49 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Iran. So last night we had the highest priority nuclear codes transmitted by U.S. nuclear forces. We had Skymaster messages transmitted at least twice. We heard it twice here on the NY Prepper channel, once at 20:45 Eastern Time, and then another time after midnight. I have an audio recording of one of these Skymaster messages. These are, again, the highest priority nuclear codes in the U.S. military. They're thought to be just below launch orders for nuclear weapons. So I don't know what's going on, if this was some kind of an exercise or preparations for round 2 against Iran. We also had almost 100 nuclear codes, regular standard nuclear codes known as emergency action messages transmitted overnight nonstop. And if you want to listen to all those codes, you can go to my primary Twitter account. The link to my Twitter is down below at NYPrepper1. Let me just play a clip of the Skymaster for you.
Serious times, man. Oh, come on, man. That's Satan.
Hi.
Skymaster, this is Doyle 1-2 on 8992, over.
So that was it. That was the Skymaster message.
Skymaster, this is Doyle 1-2 on 8992, over.
And also last night, during all of those codes being transmitted, we had a U.S. presidential doomsday plane looping over the Upper Peninsula of Michigan all night long, which is extremely unusual. This plane is for the president to command the entire U.S. military during a catastrophic situation, whether it's a nuclear war, whether it's an alien invasion, World War III, any kind of major threat to the government. He would take to the skies on this doomsday plane, and that's actually safer than being in a bunker, because our enemies know where most of our bunkers are, and they would be hit with earth-penetrating nuclear warheads, so it's actually safer for him to be in the air. So this is very unusual. It sounds like they're preparing for round 2 against Iran.
Oh, straight of heart.
And last night, Trump posted this picture, a meme, on his social media accounts showing the Strait of Hormuz renamed to the Strait of Trump.
Proud, man.
So very interesting.
Proud.
Also, Axios is citing 2 sources with knowledge, saying that next Thursday, U.S. Central Command Commander Admiral Brad Cooper will brief President Trump on options for military strikes against Iran.
Okay.
And the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane, will also be in attendance. Three sources with knowledge also told Axios that CENTCOM is planning short and powerful strikes involving Iranian infrastructure to force Iran to be more agreeable to American demands on its nuclear program. Other options include operations involving ground forces to take over part of the Strait of Hormuz and launching special forces raids to seize Iran's uranium. Okay, so major meeting planned next Thursday, apparently. Okay.
All right. Yeah, man. Very, very hot time we're in right now. Time of war, not of peace. Okay. And World War III has already begun. All right. And the elites know that it's not little green aliens coming from some other planet to come invade. All right. They know it's Yahushai and the angels. Okay. Let's get the book of Mark chapter 14 and verse 38. We'll start at verse 37. And it reads, and he's, I think it's, 14. No, that's it, yeah, 37. And he cometh and findeth them sleeping, and saith unto Peter, Simon, sleepest thou? Couldst not thou watch 1 hour? Watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. See, and that's why we're on our watch, man, and it's imperative that we do so. You miss a day, you miss a lot. Elder Apostle Daha said that. There's so much going on, man. Okay. There's a lot of work to do. Alright? The harvest is plenty and the laborers are few, man. Okay? And you got millions and millions of you Babylonians, alright? Of you Americans, completely oblivious to this. Going about their everyday life. Alright? Like nothing is happening. Okay? Thinking things are just going to be cool and dandy continuously. Were you wrong? All right. Things are seriously heating up. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. Subheading says the day of the Lord. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Yeah. Apostle Paul putting them on game. All right. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay? Everything will hit these people all at once, man, and they will not expect it. Be perplexed. Okay? Yeah. Verse 4, but you, brethren, are not in darkness. Yeah, we're not in darkness. That day should overtake you as a thief. You are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. That's right. Okay. It's high time to wake out of sleep, man. Because salvation is near. You see. Alright. Verse 8. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation. Absolutely. Okay. Spiritually equipped, man. Okay. Put on the whole armor of God, that you be able to, stand against the wiles of the devil. Let's get that. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 11, put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Yeah, the trickery, the deceit. Alright. In fact, let's get the word. Wiles in the Greek. Methodeia. Yeah. Cunning arts, deceits, traffic.
Strong's G 3180. Methodeia.
See, the elect can't be fooled, man. Alright. It's impossible. Cannot deceive the elect, yeah. Esau's got many tricks up his sleeve. Okay. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, yeah. Demons in high places. Alright. Against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Powerful, man. Let's get the word, principalities.
Strong's G 746.
Hierarchy of
Arche.
It's the Greek word, yeah? principality, rule, magistry of angels and demons, hierarchy of demons, man. Yeah, it's a spiritual battle. Okay, we're in a spiritual warfare. Okay. But these people, they ain't taking the warnings, especially our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. Right, and the Israelite foreign and speckled birds scattered all over the world. Right, looking like these other heathen nations. But you are Israelites going back to your father's lineage, going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Alright. Okay. Majority of you are not, taking heed to these warnings. Alright. This is serious, this. Let's go back to the video.
And the Trump administration is now requesting $1.7 trillion for the 2027 defense budget, up from their initial request of $1.5 trillion. They had initially requested, and $1.7 trillion is literally double this year's defense budget, okay? So that's a huge sign that something is about to go down if they're literally doubling our defense budget for next year, okay?
Yeah.
And Putin and Trump held a phone call lasting more than 1.5 hours yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
Putin told Trump he is ready to declare a ceasefire during the Victory Day period, a move Trump reportedly supported. So Victory Day is where the Russians celebrate their victory over the Nazis. So Putin said that he would do a ceasefire around that time.
Saving money on flights is a
come on,
breeze on Kayak, Heather.
No, anyway.
Kayak compares prices from hundreds
America's
of travel
gonna get
sites to
destroyed.
find you great
Okay.
deals. Just
Unless
enter
you're
where
gonna
you
play a
want to
major
go,
role in
and
that.
Kayak shows you prices from booking sites and airlines. Sun,
Yeah.
sea, and savings. You could save 25% or more.
We're not ignorant to
comparing
certain
flights on
devices
Kayak.
anyway.
Remember your bathing suit, Heather?
Goodness, advert after advert, man. It's E.
Putin also warned of extremely destructive consequences if the U.S. and Israel resume military operations against Iran in the Middle East. Wow. Trump said that a deal to resolve the Ukraine conflict is close, with both leaders suggesting that Zelensky is contributing to prolonging the war. Putin also reiterated to Trump that Russia will achieve its objectives in the war in Ukraine. Wow. So Putin warning Trump of extremely destructive consequences if they restart operations against Iran. Wow.
Right, let's skip it forward a bit. See if there's anything else.
Sanctions to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz, according to the Wall Street Journal. And the Chinese Foreign Ministry urged the U.S. to walk back its sanctions against Cuba. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight with another update, potentially a live update. It looks like something is about to go down. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, man. These are the times that we're in. Mark chapter 13, verse 37. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. Okay? You've got high action priority nuclear codes, man. Serious business. That's why we watch, man. We're not in the dark. Okay? Be circumspect, to remain circumspect. To look around. Alright? Okay? Constantly on your watch. Okay? See, these people will not escape the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. Alright? See, only the elect of the nation of Israel will. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. The precept. So yeah, it's getting intense, man. Alright? It's probably worth subscribing to that New York Prepper channel as well. Okay? But we are preparing in the spirit. Alright? You see? Strive for the truth unto the death. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for you. See? So we don't need to get carnal, man. We wait for the Lord to rise up. Okay? For us. And fight for us. He's going to rise up against the prey. Okay. But the rest of our people in Babylon the Great America are just, stuck on foolishness, folly. Okay. Plus they're distracted with bread and circuses. Of course, you got the upcoming, FIFA World Cup. Which of course there's nothing wrong in watching sports at all, obviously. Bit of entertainment and stuff like that, but we don't get hooked on it and caught up in that. Okay. Yeah. Asked on the chat, soccer most popular sport, question mark. Yes, soccer, football is widely considered the most popular sport in the world. Alright. And now it could be that, I think combat sports like UFC and boxing are more popular now, but I know it's popular in the UK, definitely. Soccer, not football, we call it. Global reach, it's played and watched on every continent, especially in places like Europe, definitely. South America. Right, the Latin tribes are brilliant at soccer. Africa and Asia, massive fan base, an estimated 3.5 to 4 billion people follow it, nearly half the world's population. Major events, competitions like the FIFA World Cup attract billions of views, yeah. Simple and accessible. All you really need is a ball, so it's easy to play almost everywhere or anywhere. Top leagues and players, huge global attention goes to leagues like the English Premier League and stars like Lionel Messi, who's an Israelite from the tribe of Naphtali, by the way, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, everyone knows about them, man. Other sports like basketball, cricket, and tennis. Yeah, cricket's popular. Rugby's popular over here in the UK as well. Basketball's big in America. Yeah, tennis, popular too. Wimbledon and stuff. But match football's worldwide reach and fan base. So I put what's the most popular sport right now, and yeah, just to make sure, and it still says football, soccer, still the most popular sport in the world. What comes after it? Cricket, 2.5 billion fans. Basketball, 2+ billion fans. Hockey, 2 billion fans. Surprised US boxing is very popular. So I'm surprised that's not there. But mess around with chat and stuff like that. You got a grill chat at times, so I reckon maybe combat sports like boxing and MMA have probably surpassed football, if not around the same. Okay. Or maybe still it is soccer. Alright. So yeah, boxing and UFC get extremely popular. Not to go off on, go off on a tangent. Probably have now. Okay. But yeah, they're your modern day gladiators. Your boxers and UFC fighters. Okay, just like you had back in ancient Rome. Alright. Yeah. To this. Trump's war on black America isn't an accident, it's strategy. Lisa Cook, Kamala Harris, black mayors, the pattern is obvious, but the best way to attack Trump's racism is to tie it to his other hatreds. The hatred's never going to go away, man. Alright? Mum's skinned boyfriend and hung flesh on a meat hook before cooking body for his kids. Sick, man. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. The horrifying case of a murderer dubbed the female Hannibal Lecter has been dissected in a recent podcast. Catherine Knight made history as the first Australian woman to receive a life sentence without people following her conviction for heinous crimes. Madman. From End Time headline, inflation spikes to 3.5% in March as war in Iran continues. It's not going to stop. See this? Wildlife across North America is dying in ways never documented before. Animals found covered in thousands of ticks, overwhelmed to the point of collapse. The scale is alarming and the timing raises serious questions, yeah? The whole creation groaneth, man. US is considering withdrawing troops stationed in Germany, President Trump says. Actor Ving Rhames collapsed inside a restaurant, rushed to the hospital. Oh yeah, died. Okay. New York rabbi found dismembered stuffed in closet after being unalived by a Colombian gang. Yeah. Yeah, there you have it, man. Okay, I might even go back a bit because obviously I dragged it right to the end. Oh, come on.
We believe that when your pension is in a good place.
But the key word is to watch, man. All right.
My team knows tech moves fast, so we don't stand still. We build a real.
Escalation is imminent, okay? And U.S. nationwide average fuel prices have reached the highest levels since July of 2022. The average for 87 octane regular gasoline is now up to $4.30 a gallon. And gas prices suddenly spiked yesterday by 70 to 90 cents in multiple Midwestern states, including Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Prices rose to as high as $5 per gallon in a single day. Okay, so there is a crisis in the Midwest right now.
It's going to continue to
Regular
increase.
87 octane is at $5 per gallon. Absolutely insane.
All praise Yah Bashim Ashai.
And Bloomberg is reporting that the U.S. Central Command has requested the deployment of the U.S. Army's Dark Eagle hypersonic missile to the Middle East for potential use against Iran. They probably want to do some combat testing with it because they haven't tested it in combat, and using it against Iran would be a perfect real-world test. And Israeli Channel 12 is reporting that Israel informed the Trump administration that the current situation is leading to the erosion of Israel's deterrence power. Okay, so Israel is not happy with the delays in strikes against Iran, and also the fact that Israel won't be able to strike Hezbollah.
Yeah, I'm going to put the link to this video in the description box underneath as well. So I'm going to leave it there. With that, I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom. Wa abad baba.